Being late, but we'll call this meeting to order 14 minutes late. Under the Ethics Act, the Board of Commissioners will abide by them. With that, Raymond, will you let us in the invocation?
Merciful gracious God, we thank you for this day, Lord. Lord, we thank you for this group that's gathered tonight, Lord. We ask you, merciful God, Lord, that you help us make the right decisions, Lord, for what they've asked. Lord, that everybody will be safe, Lord, during this time of trouble and all over the world, Lord. Lord, we ask you to be with each decision that this board makes and each one that's concerned. We thank each one for coming out, Lord, and being with us tonight, Lord, and we just ask you that you always watch over us, Lord, and forgive us for our many sins and our shortcomings. And we thank you, Lord, for letting us live in a county such as Graham County, Lord. We love you, Lord, and we know, merciful God, that you made it with your hands. Lord, in your holy name. Amen.
Tommy, you lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have any additions or anything to the agenda?
No, I'll be bringing up some new animal business, but I can do that in a bit.
We have a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Approval of the minutes from the regular meeting of November the 3rd, of the minutes from June the 16th.
Make a motion, we approve them.
Second.
All in favor?
Go ahead and put it there.
Irma Phillips.
Now, what do you want?
You remember Tom Murray that came and spoke before the board at the last meeting?
Yes.
Irma is going to give you a little information regarding this before you make your decision.
It's one about the one in town.
Yeah, this is about the apartment building in town.
I have not spoken with Mr. Murray, so the other day before yesterday was the first day that I even know about this. But I pulled Mr. Murray's card, and from 14 to 15, what it was, his house, it was actually built in 1930, and for years it's been an effective year of 1950. But he had done some extensive remodeling, de-logged hardwood floors, heat pumps. And so in this reval, Ron McCarthy's team had done the town. They put an effective year up to 1988 because of the remodeling. And supposedly Mr. Murray asked about the tax property building, the 1930 actual year built on that building, but there hasn't been no remodeling done, that's why it stayed the same.
So you're saying he's not approached you or anything about it? Okay. So you're talking about remodeling on the property up here in town? He has done remodeling?
Yeah, he put the log siding, hardwood floors, heat pumps, and so that means even though you have an actual year built of a house, you have an effective year of a newer home or a building.
And it was the town appraiser that changed it to 1988?
Yes. And Mr. Murray, he did not appeal in January, and he did not come before the board of B&R. So, as far as the board of B&R, those values are closed before the budget. And then I have one more. There is going to be a July.
What have you done now?
I know, I asked the gentleman to leave my office, and, he complained to the county manager that I was on a personal call and not waiting on him. And the personal call I was on, it was my mother.
And she has stage 4 cancer, for those of you who don't know.
And the gentleman had to wait 5 minutes. And on July 9th, we had 11,000 bills to go out. And when he come in, I explained to him why his neighbor's value went down. Because Mr. Chesney's codes were above average shape design and above average quality. When he appealed back in January, I lowered his to Mr. Witterhold's code. And Mr. Witterhold, he cannot take that I lowered Mr. Chesney's. Well, I could lower his the same amount. I said, no, I lowered Mr. Chesney's down to yours. He would not take that for an answer. Well, I said, I am sorry. I'll be glad to discuss this later with you. And I asked him to leave. Well, he told me I wasn't doing anything. So when I come out of my chair, he was sort of, his voice got a little bit louder. You can ask Rena. She come from her dad. She thought that was a problem. And I asked the gentleman if he didn't leave, I was going to call a deputy. So the piece is going to be in the paper about me tomorrow. Because I have responded to Mr. Witterhold 3 letters so far. I got the 4th one, and I have 30 days from the time I receive a letter to respond. And I sent off the 4th one today. And he keeps on about the depreciation of the house from Mr. Chesney's to his. I've explained it. I've sent our schedule of values for the codes, and he could not accept that there's a 20% drop in value from a 4.4 to a 3.3 code. So,
And he's already in that code, the 3.
Yeah, he had the 3.3 code. He was average quality, average shape design. So, but I did tell the previous county manager that if I had 10 calls in a day about my mother, I would accept those. So, but I just wanted to explain to the board.
Well, my opinion is take care of your mom.
Thanks, sir.
You have to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do my best by her. So.
He should have been a little bit more considerate when you just said, just a moment. But I know how public it is. I know how.
Well, he stood at my doorway, pacing back and forth, and of course, he listened, and that's how he knew I was on a personal call. He was listening to my conversation, but I was trying, and I was no longer than 5 minutes. That's a standard rule in our office. If you're on a personal call, do what you have to do to get off, because you do have taxpayers to take care of.
Well, I consider that more personal.
But I don't want to deal with this gentleman. I found out something later, which I'd rather Kim explain to the board later about this gentleman. And I will keep, if he sends a letter in, I will respond, but I'd rather he not be in the office. Because I found out something later. So.
Well, if everything goes good, we'll have somebody in the courthouse all the time.
Okay.
So you won't have to haul the
Okay, that sounds good. It is hard to do, and I understand those gentlemen, but I understand these days, we all trusted each other. We'd never dream of something like this happening. But times have changed, and you can't trust people like you used to.
That's true.
What was the bad about this, the one that called us all this, he was a member of the court system.
What kind of member?
Attorney,
He's an attorney?
the deal about the courthouse security.
Gotcha.
That goes to the nursing home. My daughter's legacy to do.
Happy birthday.
We need to do anything about this,
If you want to deny, if you're ready to deny or accept or whatever you want to do, you
we
can.
need to take care of it because we had 30 days to handle it.
I make a motion we deny.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
I'll send that.
Rebecca?
You got 5 minutes.
I think I'm good at 7.
No, I said 5.
Okay, so here's our finance report, updated through today. Our cash balance, reconciled balance in the general fund checking account for October 31st was $5,108,168. We're still down from this time last year, but that's because we have not got our money from Brookfield yet. So we're still low, $848,801, but if you look back 4 years, you see we are up $2.8 million, so I'm really pleased with that. But yeah, I will read a little easier when Brookfield pays, but I do want to make this comment that this is why you maintain a healthy fund balance. Because you never know when somebody, when you have a big taxpayer that's going to wait to the last minute, and that keeps us where we need to be on debt service and all the projects that we're undertaking this year. Turn to page 3, you'll see that our tax collections for the current year for real property were $312,621. We are at, from this time last year, it was right at $286,000. We collected $13,307 in back taxes for the real property. And our DMV, which is BTS and DMV, we collected for the month of October $34,044, which we are at from this time last year. On that as well. However, as you will see, we have a negative variance on page 4 for the year in taxes of $893,000, which is basically what we're low in cash. And our DMV we're catching up our DMV, we're about $7,000 short on it. Our tax collection rate is 25.38%. This time last year we were at 45.71%. We have continued to make good steady progress on the back taxes as I've reported for several months now. And you'll notice on the bottom of page 4 kind of where we are in our back taxes. We have for 14, we still have right at $140,000 left to collect. 13, we've got $83,000, and the prior years before that, prior 8 years is $88,000. That's a far cry from where we were 3 years ago, $500,000. So I'm real pleased with that. Our revenues, expenditures for the month of October are presented on page 6. We got $1,228,000 in revenue. We had a little over $1,015,000 in expenditures for a surplus $212,600. Part of that was I got loan proceeds in on the vehicles. And so we do have a surplus for the year of $463,000 today. Our sales tax are continuing to be healthier than they have been. Our sales tax on page 7 was $126,572. This time last year was $124,000. And we have a positive variance in our sales tax collections of $20,365. I'm pleased this time last year we were in the hole. I'm really glad about that. Any questions about the financial highlights? Okay, budget report. We are still staying within our budget as a county. We are at 73% left in our budget. At the end of October, we should have had 67%. I have highlighted some of the
departments, not because they're in any particular trouble, just for you to see that they are running what I would call a little hot. However, every instance, those budgets have big expenditures that we have in front. And so it takes pretty much most of the year, like recreation and football, it takes them most of the year to show that they're back in line. Mine will run hot this time next month because I just paid a $32,000 audit fee. So it will look like I'm not taking care of my budget when I'm standing here in a month. Any questions? Okay, I do have one budget amendment. This budget amendment was actually moved and approved last meeting for the $7,500 in attorney fees, or $7,500 settlement on the soil and water issue. This is just to get the board to sign off on that budget amendment. But I do believe it was the board went ahead and approved it last month. So we just need for you to sign off on it. Just a couple of things, and then I'll be quiet. Just a few announcements and a few items. All three audits, the TDA, the RDA, and Graham County were submitted timely and approved. They had not gotten their approval yet last time. All of them were approved. We will be getting a unit letter on the Graham County audit. We had no findings, as you know, in the financial side of the audit. There were findings on the DSS single audit, and I'm guessing Sharon Edmondson sent me a nice little email yesterday saying unit letter to come, be watching. And I'm pretty sure it relates to the DSS findings. And just to give you we did meet with the DSS board a few weeks ago. We created a corrective action plan. As far as I know, the staff is working at DSS to handle all of the things that we brought up in the corrective action plan. I've had several phone calls from the income maintenance supervisor asking about procedures and so forth. So I think that they're on track and trying to get these things cleaned up. My staff person that does the picnics every morning is continuing to work with their officer on their side with day sheets. That was the biggest problem, to make sure that these things are matching up. So we'll continue to be monitoring that and monitoring that plan. Because in the event that we ever have to go borrow money, we have got to have those findings cleaned up. That was the word from Sharon Edmondson back in the summer. Do have several things I'll be bringing in the next board meeting or so. We are getting proposals on EMS billing. And I'm going through those proposals, and Larry and I are going to be working with those, but we don't want to bring them until we're ready to present what we feel like our best recommendation. With finding a new support person, we've got some really good recommendations from the one company we met with. Waiting on a final proposal, so that'll probably come next time. I'm working on indirect cost plans and I'm on one project in Africa in addition to all the other stuff. So I'm going to be pretty busy. I'm going to try to get all those things wrapped up. Plus there's a bunch of ACA reporting we got to do when we get the W-2s out. So I may be kind of antisocial. Don't take it personal if my door's closed. Just know I'm in there. Always bust in if you need me. We do have one thing we'll need for approval. This is in the budget. If you'll recall, this time last year, we found out that we had some issues with our Microsoft Office licensing. We went with Office 365, which is an annual update. That's going to be coming up probably in the next week or two. It's about a $20,000 fee every year. It's in the budget, but I do need the board to go ahead, and they will go ahead and approve it. That way, when Taylor gets the quote, we'll be prepared to go ahead and get that in.
I make a motion that we approve that expenditure as budgeted.
Second.
All in favor?
And I will be absent tomorrow and Thursday. I have to go to Raleigh. I am the recipient of the 2015 Hefner Award for Excellence in Advocacy for the Persons with Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. I was nominated without my knowledge, and I got the word that I have to go down there and accept the award. So,
They're gonna write all that on one paper.
I have a hard time saying it, but I do want to let you know I have to travel down there tomorrow night and then travel home on Thursday. So I'll be AWOL for a day or two.
Good deal.
Enjoy, congratulations.
Congratulations.
It does pay off to be a troublemaker sometimes. I should have said it does pay off to be a troublemaker sometimes. I don't think they need money.
Well, everybody needs an advocate.
Miss Lisa Gibson.
One of these days I'll get bifocals and see you and read at the same time. So, all right, before I get into this, you know I'm coming to you as a humble citizen. I have no arrogance or self-righteousness with what I'm saying, because I hope you understand that. But I come as a witness to some behavior the other night that I feel was unfounded and rather unbecoming of our county. And this doesn't have to do with the hippies and tree hugger statements. So it has nothing to do with that. I can actually overlook that and understand that. And it really has nothing to do with the actual issue. I mean, I have to say that in many ways I agree with what you said, and I agree with many of the comments that were said in here. So it has nothing to do with those things. What it has to do with is I feel that the county is lacking in a certain area, and due to this weakness, we represented ourselves as victims and made unfounded accusations of an organization that really wasn't responsible. And my main thing, and I know I've got the video, so I went through this video. I listened to it really good. And I heard constant comments of, the first thing that was out of your mouth was, we didn't know about this meeting in Franklin until 6 o'clock Monday night. Okay? We asked them, to give us updates. You don't really have the respect to let us know anything. They wouldn't have been here if we hadn't met tonight and Andy invited them to come. It's all that we didn't know about this. And with no disrespect, I got a notice on my email account, which is the Graham editorial account, so there was no, against it, the Graham County, there was no, the conspiracy to keep Graham County out of it, on October 14th of that meeting. It was 2 weeks prior to that meeting that I got that email blast. I subscribed to their emails, I subscribed to state audit emails, I subscribed to Mark Meadows updates. On Facebook, I have liked the National Association of County Commissioners, Southwestern Commission, DOT, United States Forest Service again. These are all things that I feel like our county is lacking in. I, again, mean no disrespect, but I need answers to questions that were asked from this board sitting at the meeting. I'm just a citizen here. I was very disappointed that this information is very accessible to us. It's on their website. They have massive amounts of documents. They have maps. They have all kinds of things on their website. And it's very, very easily accessible. Our county accused the Forest Service of keeping them out of the loop. And I feel like we were extremely disrespectful to these people. And one of the biggest complaints was that you didn't know. And we are one county of 17 counties that are being affected by this plan. There's 9 different ranger districts in this plan. I called up some of our other counties in this plan and asked them, were you given any special consideration because the meetings weren't held in your county? No. One of the counties said yes, they had a Forest Service member come to their meetings, but they invited them to give them updates. One other county said that I could get in touch with said that they did actually have a Forest Service member come to their meetings, occasionally to give them updates. And, obviously they've got a good connection with their Forest Service members. But none of these other counties get special treatment. It's not like, listen, we've been invited, And I had a real issue with our former county manager stating that, and his statement here, I've got it right here. A request was made to be notified of these meetings, and the 11,000 emails that may have been sent out notifying these meetings were not received from the county. I think what scares a lot of people is that there's so much land being designated or potentially pointed out, and we did not have a say in it up to this point. Greg Cable was at those meetings. He's been to these meetings. I've seen him at these meetings. I've been to ones out of the county, and I've been to the two that were here and the very beginning. And Greg Cable was at those meetings. I just don't think that this is fair.
I think what Greg said was fair, because the meeting we had down here didn't have near as much of the wilderness planning put in it that they've got now.
Yeah, but they only hold their meeting. You're right. Those were the very beginning of it, and yeah, they didn't have all this stuff. Apparently, according to them, they've kind of taken a break from the public arena over the last several months to do work internally on this stuff. And now they're just coming back to the public again. And yeah, I mean, the meetings are in Franklin and Buncombe and Asheville, and it's not fair, of course. But again, like I said, there's 17 counties, and you know, Cherokee also doesn't get the special request also to have, you know, extra meetings. Another thing I want to point out too is that we actually do have, they may not come to your meetings. One of the questions was how well would a local committee work with your local office to pass information and stay informed and keeping up with it. And I want you to know that the great organization, their subcommittee and organization subcommittee on natural resources, recreation, and water quality meets monthly at Forest Service office on Massey Branch, and typically has one, if not more, employees of the Forest Service attend those meetings. And they keep extremely good communication because they're working with the Forest Service on cleaning the trails and the scenic overlooks. So, you know, we do have members, and I thought Andy was a member of that organization and of that committee. So, you know, there is communication.
Well, I don't personally know what trails they've been cleaning, but they ain't been cleaning the ones I've been on.
Oh, the partners of Joyce Kilmer have been working seriously hard, and really, and again, no disrespect, you should look, again, they've been doing a lot of work, signage, putting new signage on, and that's all.
Signs looks good, but the trees laying across the trail don't.
Well, I don't actually really help, so I take a bit on that specific, but I guess two things. Really the main thing is I feel like we need to be, county could really use to be more wired in on things. I think you're missing out on a lot of information that is available out there. And as the lawyer even said, you know, times have changed. And I can appreciate, I love living here, and I love the old time ways, I really do. But there are certain things in the county that I feel really need to be up to date. And our county offices and our county leaders are one of those. You know, I feel like y'all need, I should say that, I don't want to point fingers, I'm not trying to do that. But I believe that computer usage and internet use could really go a lot more ways here. And I just feel like, you know, like I said, the times are changing. Here's an example. Somebody asked me today, you know, can I get the meeting, you know, on a CD? It's like, well, aren't you going to stick your CD in your computer to watch it? Well, yeah, well, can't you get the internet because it's right there on YouTube, and all you have to do is just go and click it and it's there. You know, I mean, that's how easy it is. And I guess in today's time, there's just no excuse for that. And I really appreciate listening to me on this, and I don't like to, I wasn't chastising.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to make a comment, because I said a lot of that stuff that you said. I've dealt with them for 40 years, and they have got worse all the time. And I will continue to stand up for the people of Grant County against the Forest Service, because they are not what you say they are right there. I know what they do. I've been, just like Keith said, they don't clean the trails, but they'll pay that woman that sat right over there, the young girl, probably $60,000 or $70,000 a year, and they can't even clean their toilets. because they don't have the money to do it. She sat at her desk and brought that out, never seen it. And I will continue to fight the Forest Service as long as I draw the grass.
And I would never expect you not to fight for Graham County, and that's never been my beat. And I have nothing to say about what the plan is, and if anybody knows me, they know I don't like big government, so any encouragement from the federal government is not something that I agree with either. So that's definitely not what I've been saying, and I hope you understand that I support you and supporting our county.
I have several issues with the Forest Service, but the other night wasn't the time to talk about it. I think I'm personally going to try to go out and talk to the ranger, and I've got lots of questions to ask about the roads, the trails, garbage containers. They've took up garbage containers like big snowbird camping areas.
I understand that.
I understood that one of the workers told me the reason they done that is because you don't pay to camp up there. So you can, they'll pick up the garbage if you pay to camp in Jill Point, but they won't pick it up for the folks that goes up there to fish.
I've had my dealings with the garbage cans.
Yeah.
I do want to bring up really quick, something that I did find in the documents that I thought was rather interesting, because, you know, they kept on talking and they really have made it a point to say, you know, to please go through their process of commenting, okay? And you know, I agree the resolution is important and all that, but this is how important it is, though, to do what they are saying, whether we like it, what they're doing or not. And the decision will be subject to objection. So when they do the final draft, they are going to open it up to a period of objection, okay? But it says here that the decision to approve, okay, it'll go through objection. Those who may file an objection are individuals and entities who have submitted substantive formal comments related to a plan revision during the opportunities provided for public comment during the planning process. So if you have an objection to this, they won't even listen to you unless you've already been submitting comments to them through the process that they have requested. So.
Yeah, I heard them say that the criteria for this land to be turned into a wilderness area is what that we need to address to them to substantiate not having it in wilderness, and you know, it'll be a broad statement. And one of the things that I heard in the meeting was the direct flight route over land that's going to be, well, of course that doesn't constitute solitude. So I would like to see this board get together and write up whatever needs to be written that would affect in a positive way negating their criteria for wilderness. And I think a broad resolution is probably not the most effective way to do that. And I think it needs to be succinct, focused to the point, and cover what their criteria is. Because they simply, we were told in that meeting that they wouldn't honor anything else, really. That's the only thing that affects whether or not the land goes into wilderness. So I think it's worth the time of this board getting together and working on something like that.
I talked to Andy Friday night.
Andy can help us along.
And he is going to pull all of the papers off that needs to be filled out for the county to send to the Forest Service. And we have a resolution tonight for the more wilderness.
Well, I was talking to Andy today too about how we respond to the criteria. And it's critical that we refute.
He said the way that was wrote, that when you got down about 3 lines, if you pulled it up on a computer, you would just quit. But you've got to finish the whole thing. It's on the computer. And you were talking about computers. I don't have a computer. I wasn't raised in school with computers, so I can't get on the line to see what they're doing. And all the time before, every ranger that we've had has been courteous enough to either see us on the street over the years or come to our meetings and tell us or call us or say, come out here and be with us for a few minutes and let us explain something to you. That don't happen anymore. So I've dealt with them for 40 years, so I know what they are.
Thank you, Rebecca. Discussion items.
All right, the first item is the resolution on the wilderness and the wild and scenic rivers.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
The second one is the releases and discoveries.
So moved.
All in favor?
We need a board reappointment for travel and tourism. Billy Brown's seat is available, and I'm sure he's not said that he did want to serve.
No, we recommend that we put him back on the board.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Yeah, you need a motion.
Did he say he wanted it?
Yeah, he will say.
All in favor?
Okay, Wanda Hill had called me, and they have suggested that she do an advisory committee for the senior center. They act as a liaison between the senior citizens and the senior center staff. This is for an advisory role only and not intended to change policy. She said the committee had to be 60% seniors, and then she had given me the list of the ones that we meet up there. The Jacobs on, myself, and Michelle Jones from the county. The list, the senior names she gave me was Juanita Fowler, Larry Embry, Bobby Carpenter, Nanny Jenkins, and Myrtle Hill. And then the non-seniors was Michelle Jones, myself, and Jacob Nelms. Now, if one of you would like to have that position, you want to be on that instead of me, that would be great.
No. Not instead of you.
I didn't know these were seniors.
The first one.
The first one, I didn't know that.
Well,
I'm a senior.
Age
yeah, Larry,
criteria.
okay, we'll put you on there.
What's the age criteria?
Well, I told her Larry Embry wasn't gonna make it. He's not old enough to be a senior, I don't think. So we'll put Larry Raymond in that slot, if that's okay.
Bobby Carpenter's a good representative for us, and she travels to Raleigh to the senior legislation there, those sessions, and she's a good rep for us in this county.
I think really I don't know what we did one time or not. Did we give her a little plaque or something?
I think so.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does the LTPC.
Yeah, we are.
A nice letter from the commissioners appreciating her help would be nice.
Okay,
Do we need to vote on this?
yes.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
I would put up a Tom, she needs a little recognition.
Okay, the next one was a shout out to Rick Parham for the roof job they did at the P&J ball fields. It's completed, they did a great job. Jason actually took the students' pizza from Papa's Pizza as a way of a thank you. So I wanted to let you know that. The town is requesting a meeting with us on the pavilion for November the 23rd at 5:30 p.m.
Did you get my message? I think that's the Southwestern Commission meeting.
Is it Monday night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, do you want to do it on the Tuesday, the 24th?
That'd be good for me, if they can.
Is that okay?
Getting off close, thanks you.
Well, that's on Tuesday.
I've got a meeting, or I've got a prior engagement on Monday anyway, and I'd only have an hour.
Okay,
So
can you do
Tuesday.
Tuesday? They're gonna bring the 3D model of the
Oh.
pavilion.
Uh-huh.
So Tuesday, the 24th at 5:30?
That'd be fine.
And me and Jackie is still trying to get together to go talk to Jimmy.
Okay.
Did you hear?
Yeah.
I call him, he can't go, he calls me, I can't go. So, but we're supposed to try to go at 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, good.
And I don't know if that'll happen or not so far for,
5:30 on the 24th. And I will call
A month and a half, it ain't happened, so.
Right, you keep trying, it'll work.
Update on the sanitation dumpster sites, we have started cleaning those up, and I think they got 3.5 dump load dump loads, however you say it.
Dump truck load.
Yeah, junk on the ground.
Is that our
All
yellow
to the
truck?
center. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
on the yellow truck. Now,
That's
as far as the fencing, we would probably have to call the fencing company, and I need to just get a quote before I get a stupid shot.
I'd really like to see the
our-
fence left down. I don't see any reason to put up another fence myself.
Just
I'm like Connie,
lay down the parts that are,
Take it
that,
down, where it's torn down, move it.
okay,
There's
that
trees
part
growing up
that's
around it anyway.
messed up in Sweetwater,
yes.
just take it plumb down. Because the trucks
Hit it.
is what does that.
Keeping anything in or keeping
And when
anything
they
out.
moved
That's
it,
just a matter to say.
when they moved the cans up closer, then one of the drivers that's not here now is the one that laid the fence nearly down. And if we just took that out,
What do you think?
The only thing is, I think the one in Sweetwater was required by the landowner to have a fence put in.
Well, it's got in-house hunting.
yeah, but it's got it all the way around, except right there, these trees right there.
He
They're
didn't
grown
actually
up.
say anything, I did get permission for us to go up there and clean around it and cut some of those trees off the front fence, the side fence. But I don't think he would be opposed to us taking down that one that's leaning so far, but I can ask him if he want me to.
Yeah, I just asked.
And there's really no need to have a fence company, because these boys can straighten that up.
Okay.
Part of that up there can be fixed. The fence up the side, it looks like somebody has hung something in it and ripped it. I mean, it's tore up really bad. I went up there and looked. The front fence, I think, can be straightened up. We straightened it up a little bit, just to kind of sample it with that backhoe. And I
Yeah, it
think,
looks a lot better.
I think we can take care of it, but the side fence, it's bad.
Now, which side?
The right-hand side as you're going in to keep it from blowing the garbage out.
Oh, you know, a car tore that up, and we got the insurance money, and it never was fixed.
And the Bear Creek site, is gonna have to have some fencing put back up, and I think it has to have, because the Forest Service land on it.
Yeah, they stole it.
Well, there was, part of it got tore down by a truck a long time ago up there in front, but there was a tree took care of the rest of it last winter,
Yeah, family.
I believe. That's when it tore power lines down, that's what Commissioner Gibson at the time was talking about.
But we are working on that, and I'll stay in close contact with Keith, on those repairs, or getting the fence down. Notice that the Thanksgiving holiday will be off on the Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday of next week will be Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to y'all. You have been invited to Troop G's Christmas luncheon. That is our state troopers. You always get invited each year. That is on Tuesday, December the 8th. And if any of you want to attend, I need to know, because I need to RSVP. Does anybody else want to go?
Where's it at?
It is at,
In Canton.
yeah, at their headquarters, Buncombe County's headquarters. That looks same, it's in Asheville.
No,
When you go
I
to the
never
lane,
found it
Asheville,
last
Carolina.
time. I ain't gonna hunt it again.
In the newer old business, I did have, Andy Cable came into the office today, and he would like to schedule a possible special meeting prior to the December 16th meeting to fill out the wilderness forms. So if y'all could decide on a day to schedule just a special meeting, that way you could fill them out and approve them, all in the
And
meeting.
make sure that we address the
Yes.
criteria for wilderness. Because that's the only thing they're going to consider.
So I think the first Tuesdays on the 1st, December 1st will be our meeting. So any day after that, is there a particular day that you can meet?
I can't answer that question.
Is this gonna be in the evening or during?
When, before when?
Before the 16th. From
What
the
about-
1st to the 16th.
What about Thursday the 3rd,
Thursday the 3rd?
as far as y'all know? We can meet in the afternoon.
I ain't got my calendar with me, but I'm sure I'll have enough to do.
Tentatively,
Is it a-
Thursday, December the 3rd. Okay, we met today with the Mission Critical Partners on the new 911 center, and we need to identify the 911 site. They did go up on the property, up on Fort Hill, and Misty had currently suggested maybe it come down this way. What they said today, that would be too much, 200 loads of dirt to get in there to pack it, plus it would have to be secured. The best way, since we are responsible for the site, would be to put it on the top lot, closer to the transit facility, if that is something y'all are in agreement with. And I'll leave it.
I mean, we can agree to that, and if we find something better, I'm sure they wouldn't have any problem with us changing.
Well, yeah, we got to set in, they're going to put the site in the ground.
As long as we can work that site with our future plans of having maybe 2 to 3 building sites.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you put it closer to at the backs of the lot, closer to the transit property, then that would leave all this front and this side open.
It wouldn't compromise the other building sites.
I haven't been up there, is it all tore down?
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, good seating there, that was good.
So do you want to make it official, or do you want to wait, or he kind of needed to know.
Yeah.
when you want to-
If you go close to the transit site, then that would keep us off of the
Plan.
property that the plant was built on in case anything ever comes of a DSS building. So we can try to get our $90,000 back if that was to ever come to pass. But even without that, it would probably cost more than $90,000 for the site prep out there on that node.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so either way, if we wind up losing, possibly getting that back, why we're still probably gonna be ahead as far as site prep
Good site.
over there.
Okay, I will make a motion that the site be up there by the transit lot.
Second.
And do we want to put do we want to put David Hite in charge of everything laid off over there in his office?
Yes.
Plan
Would
We've
that be
got it
a-
lotted off.
That'd be a separate motion, I'll make it.
He
Add that
had,
to your motion, and
okay.
I'll make another motion for that. We'll vote on the site. Okay? Did you get a second?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
All in favor?
all right. And I make the motion that David Hyatt be the go-to person,
Advisor for
the
it.
advisor or the
Site
administrator on that. Site
Site
coordinator is
coordinator.
better word,
That'll work.
second.
All in favor?
Okay, Andy did ask if he could attend the RPO Southwestern meeting with you, Commissioner Orr, if that's okay with the rest of the board.
Be fine with me.
I think Greg used to go some with you, or I don't know, but Andy had just
Yeah.
asked if he could attend.
when he could get loose from his cars.
Okay, and the last thing that I had, Andy also spoke with me, if we want to involve the NRA in the shooting range, they are asking for public input from residents of that area. So this means that we'll have to call a public hearing for this. Andy Lynn and the shooting team, folks from the shooting team can be involved in explaining the need for the shooting range. He did mention that NRA said the Fish and Wildlife would like to be involved and get some money, but I think Commissioner Williams did not particularly need them to be included, because we didn't want them in on the decision making. Is that correct?
That is That was the words that was told to Andy when the NRA mentioned about putting wildlife in it.
Yes.
They can put money in it, but they are not having control over it.
Right. Well, I'm afraid if they put money in it, they would think they have say, so I mean, that is totally a board vote.
This is county property and has nothing to do with the Forest Service. It don't have nothing to do with wildlife lands.
I think Andy's still investigating the specifics of
I
wildlife's involved with whether
He
we have
is.
those strings attached deal.
He doesn't want the strings attached by the NRA, which they are not attached. And if he will come before you and let you know if it's free money. But and he does not have that right now. He cannot sit here and tell you that they don't have strings attached.
I would be against building a shooting range up there if the NRA had enough strength to let our existing shooting range be used like we've used it for years before the Forest Service told us we couldn't no more.
Well,
as far as shooting aerial targets.
Forest Service did apply for a grant to have that repaired, but it's still not going to be up to the point that the shooting team wanted as far as shooting skeets. I don't think they're ever going to allow that to happen, and that was the one major thing that the shooting team wanted, the ability to shoot.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing they do.
Well, Troy Grant Staff built that up there. That's when we had a ranger that tried to help us on. And he built that. We had turkey shoots to redo the shed and everything. And then they told us no more clay pigeons.
Do we need to schedule a public hearing then?
Yes.
Did,
You want to do that
Andy
now?
recommend that?
The public hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Because there's not many residents up
the
there.
NRA recommended it.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know what'll come out of that. It doesn't hurt to have a public hearing. I know we had a public hearing on closing the dumpsters up there. We got,
I mean, I don't care to go door to door, but if they just wanted input from the residents in that area, Andy and I can make phone calls. If you would rather us do that instead of a public hearing, we can get a listing of all the residents that live around there. Whichever direction you want us to go in.
I think we would be better off with a public hearing so they can come down here and voice their opinion or concerns or.
And if they don't come,
So
we tried.
not just that community can talk about it the same way as,
for the entire county.
just like we can't, control what the Forest Services want to do about the wilderness. I mean, the whole county needs to be involved.
So if it's okay, I'll schedule it on the December 16th meeting. That's our second, I think that's the December 16th.
15.
Is it
Tuesday.
15th? Tuesday, 15th. I can schedule it on that 15th and have it during that meeting. You know,
That should be
have it
plenty of time.
first, if that's okay. I have to run it in the paper a couple of weeks. And that is all I have. I have a couple items for closed.
I have one for open. I make a motion that we authorize the sheriff to hire a deputy for nothing but staying 5 days at the courthouse.
I think we need to check with him and see if he's got somebody that can already do that first, maybe Raymond, or maybe one of the jailers. That he may have personnel that can do that already, I don't know.
Let's,
Check with Danny.
let's have a little bit of discussion of, security
Yeah.
of the building first. What needs to be done? I think there's a little bit part of that had to be done closed because of the nature of the building. But, and then, I don't want to blindside the sheriff with this also. I want to connect with him also.
Yeah.
But I don't know if.
He'll have to agree to it. We
Yeah.
can't tell him to put it right.
Right. But, yeah, I know where you're coming with it. Let's let's have some more discussion about other parts of the courthouse first. Then that,
Have motion on the floor. You withdraw?
Yeah, but what I said, that we authorize him that he can, but I'll withdraw it. They're not,
or hold it till we discuss this other for just a little bit. Because there may be something else have to come from that. Anything else? You have a motion to go in and close under GS 143-318.11A136
So moved.
with a 10-minute recess.
Okay.
Sure.